For the record, before we get to this, remember what I told you? Trump is the only type of dude who will openly fucking get arrested for shit like this. I was right. Trump literally admitted everything, it seems, in a tape.
Say there are 2 instances of Trump showing classified material to people, including a military plan of attack against an unnamed country. The former president will appear in federal court Tuesday in Miami and is proclaiming his innocence.
And we had tremendous support. But that was a hoax and a scam. And now they're doing it again. It's just a continuation, 7 years. I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. And we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years. It would be wonderful if we could devote our full time to making America great again.
Listen, let's you're probably wondering how we got here, right? Because, you know, you're maybe a little unfamiliar with what happened. So I think it's good to do a little refresher on the matter, okay? So Donald Trump was indicted, and those indictment charges were unsealed earlier today for 7 counts. Some of them were espionage. I think one of them was there was obstruction of justice, conspiracy to mishandle classified documents and whatnot. And for the record, it was 37 counts. What the okay, well, I apologize. 37 counts, 7 types. Okay? So let's do the timeline real quick. So Donald Trump has been indicted on 7 charges relating to the storage of classified national defense documents dating from his presidency at his Mar-a-Lago mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. The 45th president of the United States will now appear in federal court in Miami on Tuesday, the 13th June. His lawyer has since confirmed. Should he be ultimately convicted, he could face the maximum combined sentence of 100 years in prison. His resort home was raided by the FBI in August 2022 as a part of a hunt for search papers and other government records that should have never left the White House, and his presidency ended in January 2021, a dramatic move that came as a surprise to the general public. However, legal filings have since shown that the investigation into possible violations of the Espionage Act that triggered that unprecedented action was months in the making. The documents made clear that Trump had ample opportunity to return the material to the government requested and then subpoenaed and revealed the sheer quantity of highly sensitive documents he was keeping at the club. Now, I want everybody to understand something here. There's a big difference between this and Michael Pence, for example, his situation. There's a big difference between this and Joseph Robinette Biden, for example. And that major difference is Donald Trump refused to comply with the authorities and even acted like he was complying, acted like he was actually listening to the demands from the authorities, while simultaneously keeping some documents to himself. And that is what the major point of contention here is, the major difference between, Joe Biden being investigated and immediately saying like, oh yeah, take all the documents you want, whatever. So that is what is hilarious about the circumstance. But here is a timeline of the notable developments in the case so far. On the 28th of January, 2021, then President Donald Trump left the White House for Florida ahead of President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. According to the GSA, the General Services Administration, members of the Trump transition team were responsible for packing items into boxes, putting those boxes on pallets, and shrink wrapping those pallets so they could be transported. And we saw those boxes, if you recall. That was done very openly. Prior to shipping, GSA said it required the outgoing transition team to certify in writing that these items being shipped were required to wind down the office of the former president and would be utilized as the office transitioned to its new location in Florida. GSA, however, did not examine the contents of the boxes and had no knowledge of the contents prior to shipping, according to an agency spokesperson. GSA was also not responsible for the former president's personal belongings, which were transported by a private moving company. On May 2021, after the National Archives and Records Administration, NARA, realized that documents from Trump's presidency were missing from the material that it received as he left office, the agency requested records from Trump on or about the 6th of May, 2021. So on the 6th of May, NARA's like, oh shit, we need some documents from your presidency that have gone missing. Okay? On December 2021, NARA continued to make requests for records it believed to be missing for several months. Around late December 2021, a Trump representative informed the agency that an additional 12 boxes of records that should have been turned over had been found at the former president's Mar-a-Lago club and residence and were ready to be retrieved. So they were like, oh, we need some of these documents. We figured out that you have these documents. Can we please have them back? Please, 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 please. Right? They said it kindly. They said it gently. Because these are nerds. They're fucking, number crunchers, pencil pushers. They're not interested in fucking pissing off the former president who is, known to regularly fly off the fucking heels, fly off the handles. I don't know what the term there is, but he's a crazy guy. They don't want to fucking rock the boat. These guys are basically librarians, okay? They're not trying to fight Donald Trump. So then, on the 18th of January, 2022, NARA received 15 boxes of presidential records that had been stored at Mar-a-Lago. So the Trump administration complied, and they said, oh yeah, here you go. 14 of which, it would later be revealed, contained classified documents. The documents were found mixed in with an assortment of other material, including newspapers, magazines, photos, and personal correspondence. In total, the boxes were found to contain 184 documents with classified markings, including 67 marked confidential, 92 secret, and 25 top secret. Agents who inspected the boxes also found special markings suggesting they included information from highly sensitive human sources or the collection of electronic signals authorized by a court under the FISA Court, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. On the 9th of February 2022, the special agent in charge of NARA's Office of the Inspector General sent a referral to the Justice Department via email after a preliminary review of the boxes, which revealed numerous classified documents. Of most significant concern, they wrote, according to a heavily redacted affidavit released last week, was that highly classified records were unfolded, intermixed with other records, and otherwise improperly identified. After an initial investigation of the NARA referral, the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the matter. Okay? On the 10th of February 2022, Trump's Save America PAC released a statement insisting the return of the documents had been as routine and no big deal. Trump insisted the papers were given easily and without conflict and on a very friendly basis, and added, it was a great honor to work with NARA to help formally preserve the Trump legacy. God, it's so funny. NARA revealed in a letter to a Congressional Oversight Committee that classified information was found in 15 recovered boxes and confirmed the Justice Department referral. Trump's Save America PAC released another statement insisting the National Archives did not find anything but were given upon request. Presidential records in an ordinary and routine process to ensure the preservation of my legacy and in accordance with the Presidential Records Act. On the 12th of April 2022, NARA informed Trump of its intent to provide the documents to the FBI at the request of the Justice Department, and a Trump representative requested an extension until the 29th of April. On the 29th of April, the Justice Department sent a letter to Trump's lawyers seeking immediate access to the material, citing important national security interest. Access to the materials is not necessarily necessary for purposes of our ongoing criminal investigation, but the executive branch must also conduct an assessment of the potential damage resulting from the apparent manner in which these materials were stored and transported, and take away any necessary remedial steps, the department wrote. Trump's lawyers requested an additional extension. On the 10th of May 2022, NARA informed Trump's lawyers that it will provide the FBI access to the records as soon as the 12th of May. On the 11th of May, the Justice Department issued a subpoena for additional records. On the 3rd of June 2023, 3 FBI agents and a DOJ attorney went to Mar-a-Lago to collect additional materials offered by a Trump attorney in response to the subpoena. They were given a single red-weld envelope, double-wrapped in tape, containing the documents, according to the 30 of August filing. That envelope, it was later found, contained 38 documents with classified markings, including 5 documents marked confidential, 16 marked secret, and 17 marked top secret. During the visit, the filing said, counsel for the former president offered no explanation as to why boxes of government records, including 38 documents with classification markings, remained at the premises nearly 5 months after the production of the 15 boxes and nearly 1.5 years after the end of the administration. Why did they not give all of the materials back to NARA when it was asked for multiple times, kindly and gently? Trump's lawyers also told investigators that all of the records that had come from the White House were stored in one location, a Mar-a-Lago storage room. Investigators were permitted to visit the room, but were explicitly prohibited from opening or looking inside any of the boxes they reported, giving no opportunity for the government to confirm that no documents with classification markings remained. The Justice Department was also given a signed certification letter stating that a diligent search had been completed and that no documents remained. On the 8th of June, 2022, okay, so for you saying Trump hasn't finished reading them, wrong. Trump might not know how to read, okay? That's a joke. But, like, he's not a big reader, okay? We know that already. We know that from his presidency, he's not, like, the biggest reader. He doesn't care about these documents because he wants to read them, okay? The Justice Department on the 8th of June sent a letter to Trump's lawyers requesting that the storage room be secured and that all of the boxes were moved from the White House to Mar-a-Lago, along with any other items in that room, be preserved in that room in their current condition until further notice. On the 5th of August, 2022, the Justice Department filed an application for a search and seizure warrant of Mar-a-Lago, citing probable cause that additional presidential records and records containing classified information remained in various parts of the club. There is also probable cause to believe that evidence of obstruction would be found. Read a heavily redacted copy of the affidavit laying out the FBI's rationale for the search. What does it mean? It means that when the DOJ said, hey, what the fuck are you doing? These are classified documents. Why didn't you give these classified documents back to the authorities, the federal authorities that need to preserve these classified documents? Trump just, for one reason or another, and I still don't fully understand why, refused to comply. And when he acted like he truly complied, he still kept some of the documents. And some of those documents were top secret. Now, it makes no sense until you find out he was also bragging about having these documents and knew full well that it was top secret. So we're going to get to that. I'm running ahead of myself. Okay. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to fucking give you, I don't want to give you the juice here. Okay. Okay. The Justice Department also revealed in the 30th August filing that it had found evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room and that the efforts were taken likely to obstruct the government's investigation. The U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhardt in South Florida approved the application that same day. On the 8th of August, the FBI executed the search at Mar-a-Lago, seizing 36 items of evidence. There was, by my count, and I'm not entirely certain here because there's a lot of stuff here, I believe 5 or 6 different points in time where this Mar-a-Lago raid could have been avoided, okay? Not only could it have been completely avoided, but it also did not have to be considered a raid whatsoever. Trump was the one who called it a fucking raid and made it a major point of contention and a major issue because that very same process happened with Joe Biden and Mike Pence as well. He tried to manipulate the situation further and it backfired hard. Yes, we know why he tried to manipulate that situation. He manipulated that situation for political gain. I truly believe that he thought that the FBI had no case and that he had every right and responsibility to be able to do whatever the fuck he wanted with top secret materials and that, and therefore he could have just utilized this as like basically a bullshit situation where the federal agencies are coming after him for no reason whatsoever and that he was the most innocent man on the planet. And he thought this will be a good boost. Okay? This will help me. This will be a good boost for galvanizing my base. Okay? I can just say that it's a big raid. I'm saying, like, the reason why he claimed it was a raid and not like regular routine processes, which, as we know from both the DOJ and NARA, numerous times they tried to get Trump to be fucking normal about the situation and get Trump to comply. Okay? Even when they sent in their cruisers over to Mar-a-Lago, it was not supposed to be like a raid. You know what I mean? Trump was the one who basically presented it as such. Okay? So he did that because I think he wanted to galvanize the base. But that also ended up backfiring on him. The FBI executed the search at Mar-a-Lago, seizing 36 items of evidence on the 8th of August, if you recall, including boxes and containers holding more than 100 classified records, an order pardoning Trump ally Roger Stone, and information about the president of France. Agents found classified documents both in the storage room as well as in the former president's office, including 3 classified documents found not in boxes, but in office desks. They included items so sensitive that, in some instances, even the FBI counterintelligence personnel and DOJ attorneys conducting the review required additional clearances before they were permitted to review those certain documents. A clearance that I'm sure every Mar-a-Lago dentist did not have, but access they certainly did. Okay? Like if you were a used car dealership owner and a recipient of a Mar-a-Lago Club access, okay, a Mar-a-Lago Club membership recipient, you could just go up to Trump and be like, show me these classified documents again. Want to see this cool thing about Macron? He's gay, folks. That the FBI, in a matter of hours, recovered twice as many documents with classification markings as the diligent search that the former president's counsel and other representatives had weeks to perform calls into serious question the representations made in the 3rd of June certification and cast doubt on the extent of cooperation in this matter. That's what the Justice Department said. Trump and his allies, meanwhile, cast the search as a weaponization of the criminal justice system aimed at damaging him politically as he prepares for another potential White House run. On the 12th of August, 2022, Judge Reinhardt unsealed the warrant that authorized the FBI to search Mar-a-Lago, which details that federal agents were investigating potential violations of 3 federal laws, including the Espionage Act. On the 26th of August, 2022, a highly redacted version of the affidavit laying out the FBI's rationale for searching Mar-a-Lago was released. On the 30th of August, 2022, the Justice Department responded to Trump's request for a special master in a filing that included new details about the investigation, including the assertion that classified documents were likely concealed and removed from a storage room at Mar-a-Lago as a part of an effort to obstruct the probe. It included a photograph of some of the material found at the club, including cover pages of paperclip-bound documents, some marked as top secret SCI with bright yellow borders, and one marked as secret SCI with a rust-colored border splayed out on a carpet at Mar-a-Lago. Terrible the way the FBI, during the raid of Mar-a-Lago, threw documents haphazardly all over the floor, perhaps pretending it was me that did it, said Trump. And then started taking pictures of them for the public to see, Trump responded. Thought they wanted them kept secret, which is an incredible own. Like, it's not I that's mishandling the documents, it's the FBI. Because they did that, like, whole, the classic shot that they do when they find shit. Here's how the documents were being stored, by the way, for the record. Imagine taking a shit at Mar-a-Lago in front of state secrets. I'm losing my fucking mind. Just reading material, folks. Light reading material. Yes, we're going to do the full indictment in a second. You're spoiling it. Stop spoiling it. Spoiler alert. We're not done yet. On the 6th of September 2022, U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon grants Trump's request for a special master over DOJ objections, an action that delays the investigation. Senior U.S. District Judge Raymond Dearie of Brooklyn is later named to run that third-party review. On the 15th of September 2022, the Justice Department seeks to access the classified materials taken in the search. Cannon rejects the bid, but the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals later allows DOJ to review the documents. Can you imagine? It's like, no, we need a special prosecutor. We need a special prosecutor, folks. And then they do it. And then the special prosecutor is like, or a special investigator is like, yeah, no, actually, you can't review the materials to assess what kind of harm was conducted. On the 16th of November, Trump announces that he will run for the Republican nomination in 2024, which, of course, he thought was like an AOE shield. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. I said it. I'm running for president. Now you can't investigate me. Bye-bye. I win. And he did that famously early, for the record. Okay? He did that very early. He was like, everyone was like, this is unceremonious. This is weird. Why is he doing it early? I believe it was because he wanted to, again, like I said, an energy barrier. He thought, I'm running for president. Now this is a political case. On the 22nd of November, 2022, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a U.S. Special Counsel, Jack Smith, to preside over criminal matters relating to Trump, including, but not limited to, the classified documents investigation. On the 1st of December, a federal appeals court reverses Cannon's appointment of a special master in the case, finding she lacked the authority to appoint one. The ruling gives the Justice Department access to all material seized in the search of Trump's property, which of course it did. On the 7th of December, at least 2 classified records are found during a further search of Trump's properties, sources say. On the 7th of December, this is now almost an entire year, there are still classified records in other Trump properties. On December 22, Trump lawyer Tim Parlatore, another one of Trump's crackpot lawyer teams, like his legal team, which is WASP-free, by the way. It's just exclusively the most Catholic lawyer team I've ever seen, okay? This will be relevant in a little bit. Appears before a federal grand jury in Washington to describe efforts to search Trump properties for any remaining government documents. They're like, no, you found everything. I know that we keep leaking documents left and right, but you found everything. Please don't do that any longer, please. On the 24th of March in 2023, Trump's lawyer, Evan Corcoran, appears before a federal grand jury in Washington after a federal judge finds that Smith's team made a sufficient showing that Trump may have deceived his attorneys in furtherance of a crime. On the 17th of May in 2023, Parlatore confirms that he has left Trump's legal team. He later says on CNN that he exited over disagreements with others over handling of the probe, claiming Trump aide Boris Epshteyn prevented attorneys from properly defending the former president. A Trump spokesperson denies the claims. On the 8th of June, 2023, Trump fumes on Truth Social that he has been indicted over the case, insisting, I am an innocent man. Now, that was yesterday. He said the corrupt Biden administration has informed my attorneys that I have been indicted, seemingly over the boxes hoax, he seethed in a separate post. The most innocent man in America. Now, today, we found out more information. That brought us up to today. The indictment has officially been unsealed as of today. Okay? So now we're going to get to that. Now we're going to get to even more details. This also happened as Donald Trump, they don't know how to classify documents. Yes, we do. They are on stage literally behind you. Okay. So this is the indictment. Now, it's boring. I'm not going to fucking go through piece by piece. We'll just watch a video covering the indictment. But also, simultaneously, while the indictment was unsealed, because a lot of these charges that they have, okay, a lot of these charges they have are, all over the place. It's just, mishandling documents, all this shit. But is it illegal? Well, yeah, it kind of is, but it could be like a misdemeanor or a low-level offense. Well, part of the reason why it's no longer a low-level offense is because Donald Trump personally made it a higher offense, like himself, in 2018. Okay? So that was one of the aspects, one of the issues there. He personally did that. which is fucking awesome. Not only that, but it's kind of hard to prove some of these charges, like an intent to defraud in the Manhattan DA case. If you remember, in the Manhattan case, you have to like literally prove that Trump had like malicious intent to defraud the voters, right? But Donald Trump is such a unique kind of criminal that he is exactly the type of criminal that openly states everything. Now, this is before we found out anything else, okay? This is what I said, okay? This is what I said yesterday.
Move that box, and that person didn't know anything about that. That's not a conspiracy. That's a crime by Donald Trump, not the guy moving the box. If they both knew and had a meeting of the minds, this is illegal and we're doing it, that is a conspiracy. And I also want to underscore the fact that this...
Dude, if they're saying this in the investigation, I 100% believe that Trump had a conversation. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh my God. Trump is such a fucking dumbass, dude. Oh my God, 100p, dude. He 100% would have been like, yeah, this is very illegal, folks. Very illegal. You better hide it good. Turns out, once again, your boy was 100% correct, okay? Like, literally, the most correct on this issue. Do you understand me? That's right. Donald Trump, literally, according to CNN tapes that was uncovered, straight up knew that the fucking documents were illegally in his presence, knew that he was holding on to top secret documents. Let's take a look. Let's go to the fucking tape. Let's hear CNN's damning admissions on tape. Trump's damning admissions on tape.
CNN exclusively reported the prosecutors had an audio recording of Trump admitting he kept a classified Pentagon document about a potential attack on Iran. Well, now, and this is what is new, we are learning exactly what former President Trump said during that private meeting in 2021.
Now, according to a transcript of that recording, Trump acknowledged he hadn't declassified the document, and they didn't have the power to do so. He told people in the room, quote, "As president, I could have declassified, but now I can't." You'll note that goes completely against what the former president has been saying.
I don't know what to say. It's like if there is a rule that is broken, that is very hard to turn into like a severe crime, unless you very openly mention that it's a crime, you know it's a crime, and you're doing it in a criminal way. Donald Trump is there doing it, dude. He's there doing the damn thing. I said this earlier today. I said Trump is the king of breaking rules brazenly in the only way that it would make it super illegal. He is an artist in that regard. Like, never has there ever been like a villain that is so cartoonish. Like, this is like, what is it, Mugatu, or the villain from like the Powerpuff Girls. You know what I mean? It's just like he's basically foiling his own plans all the fucking time. And never does he ever say like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this again. Maybe I should learn from my mistakes. Oh, Mojo Jojo. He's just so like, he is like Plankton on SpongeBob. He's like a cartoon villain where he's like, I am going to do something very illegal. I sure hope the authorities don't hear about it. The way the shit poster predicted exactly what happened. If they knew this would be a felony, said the former president, waving around an original constitution from the Smithsonian and speaking directly into a recorder, but they'll never know. They'll never know because I'm too smart. I mean, yeah, that's basically what I said as well. In July 2021 at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, during an audio recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, two staff members, none of whom possessed the security clearance, Trump showed and described a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the individuals that the plan was highly confidential and secret. Trump also said, as president, I could have declassified it, and now I can't. You know, but this is still a secret. In August or September of 2021, at Bedminster Club, Trump showed a representative of his political action committee who did not possess a security clearance and a classified map related to a military operation, and told the representative that he should not be showing it to the representative and that the representative should not get too close. Don't get too close. I shouldn't be showing this to you. It's highly illegal for your eyes to see it, but you can see it, but not too close. I love him so much. Okay? You cannot write something this dumb, except I predicted that it would be this dumb, and I was right. But still, there was another clip. It wasn't just me saying, like, Trump is the only one that is the type of dude who would admit it. I think I had a separate clip on there where I basically predicted the line of attack as well, like how he would say. Is Trump just trying to impress people? Like, why the fuck is he running around showing people these docs? Great question. And to give you an answer on that front, I'm going to give a shout out to the Chapo Boys, who I agree with on this issue. They were one of the first people to say the likely reason why Trump kept all of this classified intelligence was not necessarily to like sell shit, which, you know, it could have happened as well on the side, but literally to flex, to just flex to some of the greasiest losers at Mar-a-Lago, just for a brag. Oh, this is the Rolling Stone article, the old one. Kid Rock says Trump turned to him for advice on how to handle North Korea. We're looking at maps and shit, and I'm like, am I supposed to be in on this shit? The Rocker told Tucker Carlson. He wanted to impress Kid Rock. Like top secret classified intelligence on North Korea. Like the guy who wrote the fucking pedophile song talking about, what was it like? Was it grass in the field, play ball? What was his line in it in Osmosis Jones? Oh, sorry. Worse than that. Some say it's statutory. I say it's mandatory. That's the guy who Donald Trump had review top secret intelligence. That's Kid Rock. Kid Rock wrote that song for Osmosis. And Osmosis Jones. Donald Trump gave that guy top secret documents to look at. Yeah. So that happened. That's a real thing that happened. Trump posted this image again. Boxes stored on the White House sidewalk for all to see prior to being moved down to Florida. Nothing hide here. Witch hunt. He's like, no, I've been mishandling documents brazenly since the jump, you fucking idiots. I'm actually doing more crimes than you thought. Okay? Checkmate, stupid. Oh, it's so fucking good. Anyway, let's get back to the tape.
Saying publicly.
Do you still have any classified documents in your possession?
Are you ready?
Do you?
No, I don't have anything. I have
that could objectively be a lie, by the way.
Now, in this recording, this was back in July 2021, he is speaking to some visitors at his New Jersey golf club. We know from our sources that among the people in the room were at least 2 people working on Mark Meadows' autobiography, as well as some Trump aides. He is referring here to General Mark Milley. He says, quote, well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't that amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. On the tape, we're told that you can hear him rustling the papers at this point. Look, this was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. I'll keep reading, but you can tell at least 4 times, he emphasizes that this was Milley. He goes on to say all sorts of stuff, pages long. Look, wait a minute. Let's see here. I just found, isn't this amazing? This totally wins my case. And I want to note here, his case he's referring to here is this dispute with Milley, not the current pending criminal investigation. Except it is like highly confidential. Secret. This is secret information.
Look at this highly confidential information. Look at it. Look directly at the highly confidential information that I am illegally showing you. This wins a petty argument that I have for me. I am doing a crime to win an argument that Mark Milley is probably even unaware is even happening. Look at this top secret document that is super illegal for you to see. Is exactly what I said he was going to fucking do. And he did it. He literally did it.
Look at this. I will note that secret and confidential are both, of course, levels of classification. And then arguably the most damning quote, he says, he asks someone in the room if he can declassify it. And then he says, as president, I could have declassified, but now I can't. And of course, that last quote undercutting all of the public arguments that he, his allies, and his attorneys have made about how he was able to declassify things once he left office, or that he may have even had a standing declassification order to declassify any materials in his possession before he left office.
This is a good tweet. At the time, for some reason, I did not think this would become as big as a thing as it did. I don't know why, lol. Within the past year and a half, Trump's guests at Mar-a-Lago have at times witnessed the ex-president brandishing certain objects or papers, claiming they were mementos from his stint in the White House as he gave informal tours of his Florida homestead. As I told you guys, like, it's literally, it's not even, for the most part, it's not even as severe as, like, if they have an espionage charge in there, like, I'm sure there's some people that probably took advantage of Trump doing this all the time. But for the most part, it was probably the show at the dentists, okay? It was the show at the jet ski dealership owners. He literally just wanted to flex that he had these top secret classified information for no particular reason other than clout. It reminded me of how he'd give tours of the bathrooms and the toilets when he lived in the White House. One of the knowledgeable sources says he likes to show off, even if he isn't supposed to have those things. It was, of course, flagged for me that Maggie had a version of this earlier this year because, of course, she did. Still unclear to me why it took at least 8 months to get these documents back to NARA. By several accounts, he was waving documents from boxes at people at Mar-a-Lago. It's so good. It's so fucking good. He's like Mr. Bean, dude.